Here, over the traffic light, you see 19 to 6 o'clock accident. Drive slowly because it's possible a car before you is staying while he have a look at the nice girls, and the other car is looking outside on, and then it's crash. On the right side there's another theater. It's the theater for the musical Cats. Right side behind us.
It's behind us.
And this is the end of the Reeperbahn.
Oh.
Finish. Yes. We are too early.
Yeah.
You see the building with the green roof at the right side. It's the old tunnel under the Elbe. Only 450 meters long. You go with a lift downstairs, 6 meters under the water from the Elbe, and you can drive with your car to the other side. There in a great lift and going upstairs, so you are on the island of the Elbe. And on this island there is also a musical hall. Since 3 years there's a musical hall. They played Buddy Holly stories to the ferries.
Moving a little better today, huh? Traffic's moving better today.
Yes.
So far.
Direction of Lübeck and then on to Stuttgart to our ferry. We're headed a farming countryside that we're going through on our way to Stuttgart. A view of the East Sea. We're approaching the Denmark Bridge that we will cross to the Denmark Island, which is still part of Germany, on our way to the ferry. Now we are on the Denmark Island.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Waiting to get on the ferry.
This is where Lydia drives the bus.
No.
Video is going into this hole.
As we board the ferry in Stuttgart.
Great side.
Ferry. We are now on the island of Lowland, part of Denmark.
Nach Kopenhagen und dann will ich Stockholm, Oslo und dann oben Geierlanger für Talangerwitter Bergen wieder zurück am Ende des Monats wieder ein. Ich bin ja schon eine Woche weg. Groß geworden. Ja.
Our lunch stop at this wayside rest area in Denmark. bridge we came across. A little bit of a shower here on our way into Copenhagen.
43, so it's an old garden. It was open for the city, for the people here of Copenhagen. Besides, it has collections of art, many sculptures and many paintings. It's founded in 1167, so it's a medieval city. You have it right here now to the right, but this one is not doing any ferry business anymore because now it's functioning as a restaurant. One of the reasons is that now we are constructing many bridges. So, extension of the Royal Library, the big yellow building here to the left next to this beautiful lion is the Royal Library, and we're passing underneath the bridge where on the right hand side there's a new extension, and they are officially inaugurating this building within a month. Many old buildings. One of them, we're going to drive along it now on our right hand side. It's a building that was constructed by one of the most famous kings here in Denmark. He was Christian IV. Our kings are either Christian or Frederick. And Christian IV constructed this building in the beginning of the 17th century. It's the old stock exchange, one of the famous buildings here in the city. This Christiansborg Palace. Christiansborg Palace is the 5th palace on this very spot. And the inner courtyard of the Christiansborg Palace, and you see that this part of the palace is constructed in a different style. This used to be the old beach and the old fish market. This statue was put on this very spot. Hundreds of bicycles. We have so many bicycles in the country, and people use bicycles to go to work, and some of them are here, but we are right in the middle of the pedestrian street here to the right. You see an old building. This building is the same building style as the old stock exchange, and it's from the 17th century. And this is underneath her right arm. Because it was originally a warehouse, and there was a canal coming up along it, so the boats could proceed and load and unload their goods. Then it became a stock exchange, and now Holmen's Church. It's the naval church in Copenhagen, belonging, well, with special. This is a canal that was excavated by prisoners of war stories, and he died in number 18 in 1875. But look at the other side of the street. In this area used to be a sailors' district where it was a bit difficult, a bit tough and dangerous to move around. But today it's completely changed. You see on the other side of the street a lot of restaurants. It's one big long restaurant street now also. Nytorv, the Royal New Square. It's a square where on the other side, this white building that you now have on your left-hand side, that is a hotel, Hotel d'Angleterre. There's a second one leaving Oslo in Norway also at 5 o'clock. So, and then they arrive at 9:30 the following morning in the two cities. And this is fun, but it's a huge ferry boat. Work there say it symbolizes that the week has 7 working days.
I'm sure.
Well, it's if you work hard enough, then you get rich. Very often it's like that. So we'll just make a short stop between these two small pavilions. We do it this way and then, yeah. A yacht. It's called a Dannebrog. It's the same name as our flag. You see the flag, the red flag with the white cross is the Danish flag. And when our queen is going to visit cities around the city, she will go in her royal yacht. It's I think it's a beautiful old ship. It was built in 1931. And when she's boarding right here between these two. There's some stairs, a little boat taking her out there. The pavilion of the queen and the pavilion of the king. And on the other side you see these old buildings, a mast crane and a small house with a crown on and the flag. This is the strategic headquarters of the Royal Danish Fleet, the Navy. We used to have all the ships, the Navy, out here in the basin, but they have moved to the western part of the country. Statue of the Little Mermaid. Can't come to Copenhagen without seeing the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is, well, a story, fairy tale story written by Hans Christian Andersen. And maybe you have seen the Disney movie. That's not the exact story the way Hans Christian Andersen wrote it. His story is that this little mermaid, she fell in love with a prince. She wanted desperately to marry him, and she wanted to get a human soul in order to walk on earth, and so that he could fall in love with her. She got the legs, she gave up her tongue so she couldn't speak. She did meet the prince, but unfortunately for her, the prince married someone else, and then her destiny was to vanish back into the sea. So that's the real story.
We're stopping for a photo opportunity of the Little Mermaid here in the Denmark harbor.
Comes another one coming in. He's just doing it.
Yeah, the one that's coming in that you can see, that is one of these catamaran boats that goes to Sweden. We have a ferry between Copenhagen and Malmö in Sweden. You can go to Sweden in 45 minutes. Strong building, and the other one is an exhibition building. Today they are not only for people of the Royal Navy, but for the entire well, people in the armed forces can apply for apartments in these small yellow houses, and they are very attractive because the rent is not. Inside this little palace, Rosenborg Palace, it's today a museum where lots of art pieces, objects, gifts given to the royal family through 300 years are kept in a museum. And the same
Right here. Right here. It's a street person evidently. Well, I'm trying to figure out what he's got all that stuff on.
Grocery cart.
He lives on the street.
coming up, it's called Krystalgade, Crystal Street. Down this street is a Jewish synagogue here in Copenhagen, and also a very special tower, a round tower you can see down, built by Christian IV. Of Copenhagen. So we'll just make a short stop on this square, and then we can go in and have a look at the Danish church if you want that. He is a Danish physician. He had the Nobel Prize in physics. He was one of the inventors of the nuclear power. Went to the States during the Second World War, actually.
That's the entrance to the university. The Danish cathedral.
is maybe
Speak
not
a little louder.
entirely typical Lutheran church. It's very clean, very solemn. But that is the building style of the beginning of the 19th century, very classic. The interior is made by a Danish sculptor, Bertil Thorvaldsen.
The baptismal fount and the altar. The statues on the side are the 12 apostles. 6 on each side. Organ in the loft.
This is the oldest square that we have in Copenhagen. The oldest square is actually called Old Square, here to the left. A small bookshop, and the man inside just says we are always standing on our heads for our people, so. Well, we are back at the Town Hall Square. Look to the left, that's City Hall. That's where we met. This building, look at that, yes, just in front of the bus. It's a building of cinemas. It has 25 cinemas inside. It's owned by the Nordic Film Company, which is one of the oldest film companies in the world. It was one of the well, there wasn't much bombing in Copenhagen, but the Allied came a couple of times to bomb buildings. It was not the Germans who bombed, but it was the Allied forces, and they bombed this building, particular building, because it was the Gestapo headquarters, Terrium.
It's a planetarium in that round building.
Venus Mars.
Oh yes, there's small restaurants with small gardens.
Das ist schwierig, ne?
So we just move around. But look here, you see this building just straight ahead with the elephants, maybe you can see that? This is the founder of the Carlsberg Brewery. He had these fine buildings constructed, and one of the most famous beers is an elephant beer. And but this is this area here in the region, small sort of family restaurants with a small garden around it. We moved the central station out here, although from the beginning it was meant to be that the new central station of Copenhagen should be right out here. But there is a subway station right now, but
This is
Da kann man ja bis in die Rezeption fahren, das ist schön.
yeah, durch.
Suburb of
Gerade
Copenhagen.
durch.
This is the view out of our bedroom window, right next to a train station. Guess we won't get much sleep tonight if we leave the window open.